Hey everybody, this is Jake, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Stanley Sweetheart low angle block plane number 60 and a half. Okay, so a little background on why I'm even doing this review on this plane. I work at a local high school here in Minnesota, and I just got the chance this year to teach woodshop. So one thing I want to do is really introduce the kids not only to power tools, but to hand tools and the advantages they bring. And what we have currently, we've got some Stanley block planes that are pretty low end, pretty beat up, not used very regularly, and we got some chisels, of course, and some other hand tools that I think tend to get neglected quite a bit. So I really want to introduce students to some hand tools and what's going to work for them, and just what can happen if you've got a good hand tool and it's working properly, and how easy it is and how nice it is to use that. So I do have, my wife bought this for me about 15 years ago, and it literally is my favorite tool in the shop. This is a Veritas low angle block plane. I love this thing. I use it all the time. It's beautifully made, has great weight to it, feels great in my hand, and I'm not giving high school students a Veritas. Just not going to do it. But I don't want to give them something that's on the low end either, that's kind of hard to use, clunky, whatever. So I've seen these. They look intriguing, even just this box. I love the packaging on this. It's kind of old school font and old school style and what you would have seen maybe back when they made these originally. And it's got the stuff listed on here as far as the features, like the base and the frog are cast of the same material, and that should be probably correct. I mean, that most are. Get some lateral adjustment for our blade, which is good. Adjustment for the mouth, that's good. 1/8 inch thick blade, that's a really nice feature, nice and sturdy blade. And it's A2 steel, so I mean, you really can't go wrong with that. And I don't know, let's see what's in the box here. So let's open this up and get some directions here, which is always good. How do you maintain it and how do you adjust it? It's good to have that written down. And I already like that it comes in this paper. This paper, if you don't know what this is anti-oxidation paper. It keeps things from rusting, keeps moisture from getting in. And so I like that they've even gone that far to make sure the plane is wrapped in this kind of thing. That's really nice. But yeah, on first glance, I really like it. I haven't used this much, but it looks really nice. The adjustment here is completely flush. I feel no difference, and I should not feel any difference between this part and the rest of the sole of the plane. Yeah, it feels good in my hand. And it looks really nice. I mean, I just like the look of this. And these look like they're brass. I mean, I don't know if these are brass coated or what, because they look a little bit different than what I've got on here, and I don't know. I'm just going to go with it. I'm going to assume these definitely are brass up in front, but this adjustment knob back here, maybe, I think it is. I'm not sure. In my wheel lock here, I believe that's brass too. It looks brass to me, and it looks nice. So what I'm going to do is we're going to just kind of do a side-by-side comparison. Just going to take these apart first and show you what they look like as far as their parts, and then we'll take them for a little test drive. So let's get going. All right, so I'm just going to do a little side-by-side comparison between the Veritas here and the Sweetheart here. They are about the same length. Looks like the Stanley's just a hair bit longer, and the walls here are actually a little bit thicker. Actually, that looks about twice as thick as my Veritas here. But that's fine. I like that. For the mouth, my locks here for the mouth, this one, they both appear to be brass. This has just been aged a little bit better. I think I've had it longer, so it might be a little bit of discoloration there, or a little bit darker patina on there. And this is a little bit better made, I think, on the Veritas. But they both function okay. Now, the lever cap, this one's a little bit lower on my hand. This one's a little bit higher, and that's fine too. This screw here, again, on the back for adjusting my blade. This is knurled here, where I've just got some lines here, and it is what it is. So let's take off our lever cap on. Let's do the Veritas first. Just unscrew the wheel on the back of the lever cap here and take that off. Do the same on this. Now, Still kind of locked in there, so I have to undo the screw. Now, the other thing I'm noticing real quick is this actually has a screw head with a slot for a screwdriver. This does not. Just, I think it feels like it's knurled, but it's pretty smooth. Really kind of pressed down there. If you got fat fingers like me, it might be a little difficult, but just have to unscrew that a little bit, and then we can take that lever cap off. Now, even comparing the lever caps, we just have a button here, and over here we've got a separate piece of brass, and then that's pinned in here, and that allows us to roll a little bit for, looks like, for the blade. So I like that. This works. That's fine. I think I like that a little bit better. Also, on the Veritas, this is machined here, so we can sit nice and flat on our blade, which is good. That's a good thing. And on this one, I don't think that really makes a whole lot of contact with our blade. Well, actually it should. I take that back. But this is not machined. It's just painted over. I suppose you could actually go ahead and flatten that to get a little bit better contact on the blade, especially up here in the front. But you can see this is cast. I got some casting marks here. Actually, they're both cast, I suppose. But it is what it is. The blades, these are both 1/8 of an inch, and this one's got a little bit more meat on the back, and this one's just tapered towards the back, but they'll both look fairly decent, so I like that. And then the mouth, now this, I've had this for a while, so I can adjust this. This is very adjustable. And the other thing I like, I got these little indents here. I got 3 of them here on both sides, and I even have little set screws on the side to allow me to kind of dial in where I want that blade, which is a really nice feature. I really like that. And my right-left here pivot is also very nice. Now, it looks very similar on this one. It fits a little bit. Now, this is a nice snug fit in here. This has a little bit more play, not much, but a little bit. That's okay. And this looks to be brass, or it looks at least brass coated. I can't tell, and I don't know. But it is machined all the way back, so you got this nice flat surface all the way to the back of the frog here. And so that's looking pretty good. The only other thing for the adjustment for the mouth here, this works pretty good. If I unscrew this too much, it gets a little funky. So you just need to give that maybe quarter turn, and this adjusts fairly smoothly. Bring that forward or bring it back. That's not too bad, but just you can't unscrew this too much or it gets really wonky. So that's a little strange, but it works. It's functional, and it does what it's supposed to do. Now, out of the box, let's just see how sharp this is. I haven't used this yet. This is just straight out of the box. And I like using newspaper because it's a little bit thinner and tends to hang up a little bit more than, let's say, thicker paper. But if I just take this, I like that. Ooh. Let's try it the whole length of the blade here, see what we can do. Yeah. Oops. Let's try it one more time. Get some good newspaper here. Oops. Even if it's hung up, it still slices right through. And I hardly have put any effort into that. So literally out of the box, it's sharp enough to even get going. If you wanted to dial that in some more, you could. But it's pretty much ready to go. So is this the same as this? No, obviously not. But the cost of this is about $100 less than what you're getting here. And as far as the fit and finish, it's decent. It's decent. It's not the best, but it's decent. I got a little bit of play here between the pin and my blade, and I've got a little less. Well, let's just look. Let's take a look here. On here, let's get that in. And yeah, I've got a lot less play between the pin and the blade here. So that's also a difference, but that's really not going to hurt the performance, or shouldn't hurt the performance of the plane itself, I would say. So now we're going to put these all back together and we're going to take them for a test drive. All right, so we're going to take these both for a little test drive here. We're going to try them on 3 different pieces of wood. We got some pine here that we're going to give that a shot on. And I've got some elm. We'll give that a shot on that. And I've got some hard maple here that's a little punky on the end. It's got some variation in just how consistent the wood is here with the grain and what's in here. But I want to use it on something that, most people will actually be trying this on. So let's start with the Stanley. Let's see how it looks here. So let me get these out of the way a little bit. I already kind of dialed this in. And I like, no, oh, it's looking nice. I like that. Look at this. I like that very much. I love shavings. That's part of the fun of doing handwork, is getting those shavings. Leaves a nice smooth surface. That's really nice. And so let's switch over to the Veritas here and just to kind of compare. Left it so smooth. I'm gonna dial this in a little more. A little more. There we go. That's also looking pretty nice. I always like this guy. All right, let's switch it over. Let's go with the elm. Get that out of the way. Let's put some elm in here. Let's see how we do with the elm. So we're gonna go with the Stanley first. Give that a shot. And that works really nice through the elm. Just nice curls. Yeah, and you'll notice when you use hand planes, they act a little bit differently depending on what wood you are planing. So you'll kind of learn that as it goes, but I like that. It's also looking very nice. Okay, so the real test is a good old maple. And maple is probably the hardest wood I use. Mostly I'm sticking with the black walnut. I like elm, it's stinky, but if you're using hand planes with elm, it's a lot nicer. Hand tools with elm instead of the power tools, because I love how it looks, but it can be a little stinky. So back to the Sweetheart here. Let's see how it does. And it's kind of choppy here, but again, that's because this grain is not super consistent. But it's making some nice stuff on the stuff that actually is hard. The other stuff is just kind of turning to sawdust there, where it's softer, and I would expect that with it kind of being inconsistent like that. You know what? We're going to try this. We're going to flip this over to a better edge. Let's see how it does over here. I want to make sure I'm kind of going with the grain. I kind of be going downhill here, but let's give that a shot. See how it does on this side. I think we might get something a little bit more consistent. Tighten that down just a hair. Yeah, on this grain, it's a little more consistent. I'm getting a much better cut, so I like that. So let's switch it over. Go with the Veritas here and see how we're looking here. Yeah, it's pretty similar as far as what's coming off of this. So just from kind of the first run here, this is performing pretty well, to be honest, up to the Veritas here. And again, you're never going to tell me this is not a good tool. I love this tool. But what this is doing right now, as far as getting this dialed in, I probably want to tune up the bed a little bit more, flatten that a little bit more, put some wax on there, probably run a little bit smoother through my piece or my end. It's working really well. The only thing that I don't like is when I find I want to adjust my blade. You know, I'm going to loosen up my guy here, my wheel, and this knob to adjust my blade forward or back, I need to go at least a full turn to get it to move forward, or at least a full turn to bring it back. So I don't like that. There's a little bit of that in this, but not much. I've got, I don't know, about that much between bottoming out and coming to the top. So this one just has a lot more, which just doesn't, you know, it is what it is. There's nothing really can do about that. That's just how that pin is designed in the blade. There's just a lot of slop in there. But it's performing well. I like what it's doing, and I'm pretty happy with what the results I'm getting. All right, so what do I think? I like it. I do. I like it. It's well made. It feels, the pros are, the steel is nice. The blade is nice. It's a thick blade. It feels nice in my hand. It has that weight to it. The sole is nice and smooth. The sides are nice and smooth. I like how it looks. So it's put together well. It's got all the right stuff. The one thing I don't like about it is just that adjustment screw for your blade. You literally have to take it, so that's 1/2, 2/2, yeah, full turn. 360-degree turn to move that pin to adjust the blade down or up. That's the one thing I don't like on it. But other than that, it's a decent plane. And obviously, I'm going to get a lot more stuff, a little bit better, well, a lot better build quality with a Veritas plane or a Lee Valley plane compared to something like this. And that's just the price. Now, this cost right now about $70, give or take $5, depending on where you buy it. This Veritas is going to cost you about $160. So you're looking at about another $100 above what you would pay for this. Is it worth it? I think it's worth it for this. Would I hand this to my high school student who is just starting woodworking? No, I wouldn't. I think this is a great plane to start with, especially someone who is just learning. I like it. I think it's well made. I think it's put together well. And I think it's going to work really great, especially for our application for 16, 17, 18-year-olds who are doing this for the first time. I can get it sharp. I can get it tuned up. I don't have to worry about parts. I don't have to worry about it falling apart and not working right. Because the main thing is, for myself or any of you out there or my high school students, is that I want to put things in their hand that are going to work right, they're going to work well, that are going to actually do what they're supposed to do. Because all of us have experienced where you get a hand plane or a chisel and you go to use it and it's not sharpened, it's not tuned up, it's not what it should be. And then you're like, man, I don't even want to do this anymore. This is silly. I'm just going to go back to cutting stuff with a power tool. And so if I can get some things in their hands that are going to do the job right, are going to cut right, are going to do what they're supposed to do and give them that experience, I really want to give them that. And so I think this is going to fit well for that, for sure. So I would recommend it. If you have extra $100, I would recommend this. But for $70 and what is out there and what goes below this, I think this is way better than anything kind of below that price point, to be honest. I really like how it's made. I like it a lot. So if you have any other comments about this particular plane or hand planes or any questions for me, please sure to let me know. And this is Jacob Altrate saying we'll see you next time.